members. Daisy just took the labels off 10 sheets, well, 5 sheets of plywood because she can only go down to the 5th layer. But I'm going to give you the costs for big lumber in the Philippines. And the reason this big lumber was purchased is because we're setting up another container next to the platform I started to build yesterday. It's going to be 6 by 16, and right now it's 6 by maybe 11 and a half finished. So we didn't have the substructure lumber to finish it this morning, but besides that, we had a lumber order come. So I'm going to show you the lumber, and I'm going to show you the costs of the lumber. Now, what I did, I paid a little bit more money for this plywood. I paid for the 4 by 8 sheets of so-called marine plywood, which it is not fucking marine plywood, okay? I paid 1,300 pesos. So that comes out to $26 a sheet. At the other lumberyard, it was 1,220. So I paid 80 pesos more for 5 sheets, 400 pesos. But I got it all delivered in one day. That other lumberyard that sold me that shit Chinese plywood last year, he'll tell you 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and he'll deliver it the next day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and leave it in front of the gate. So for the 1/2 inch, 800 pesos. At the other lumberyard, it would have been 730. So I paid 5 times 8, 80, 400, and 5 times 7. I paid 750 pesos more, but I got it all with one order. So it's sitting on top of the substructure for the storage between the new container, which is going to sit here, and that rock is part of the substructure for the new container, and the old container that I secured the plate to the wall with yesterday. So this rock here is setting on top of another rock down below as part of a substrate, and on top of that rock and across over to these rocks here, which have to be pressed down in the ground with the machine. And then these small rocks are going to be fitted between, and I'm going to throw some mud on top of the rocks when I get it level. This where you're looking at right now, from the end of that 2 by 2 to the end of the 2 by 2 is 8 feet. This is the back ass end of the container. The container's going to sit up against the back wall. When I get the mud in between here, when I get those rocks settled down in the ground where I want them, and I'm going to leave it 2 inches higher on this side, because this is directly over a footing that's been excavated and then repacked down, but it's going to settle 3 inches, maybe 4. So I'm going to leave it 2 inches high on this side and let it settle, do the settling process on its own. So basically, the container is going to be here, and then in between the container where the plywood is to the other container is going to be storage, and then there's going to be a roof in that 6-foot section of storage between the 2 containers. Now, logistically, this is the only way I can do this job. I had to get my stuff out of America because the house has to be sold, and there was no place to store it in America, or actually move it in America twice and then pay large amounts of money for storage. So let me tell you what these boards are. I think it was 650 pesos for these big boards, right? Yeah. These big boards, well, I could figure it out, but yeah, these big boards are what they call 2 by 9 by 12s. And if I remember correctly, it was 650 or 675, let's just call it 700 pesos per board. So those boards are $14 each, but the difference is these are rough sawn lumber. That's what I wanted. I didn't want milled lumber, because when they mill it, they take 3/4 of an inch of the board away. So what we have here is an entire 2.5 inches of lumber. Now this is a full 9.5 inches of lumber up on top. Okay, and so those were so figure about 12 into 14, 12 times something, what equals 2, 12 times 30, 12 into 2, 12 times $2. So 12 times 30 would be 240. So these were $1.25 per foot for a 2x9, $1.29 per foot. Now I do know I have upstairs, I have 6 2x6 by 12s, 2x6 by 12s. And those 2x6 by 12s, I remember those were $5.50 a foot. So 12-footer for a 2x6, 550, say 550 pesos, $11. Those were like 90 cents a foot. Yeah, so that would make sense, $1.25 and 90. So these were $1.25 a foot, and the 2x6 by 12s were 90 cents a foot. Now these, one of these is going to go on top of those 4 rocks and across those buckets, and go under the base of the decking. So that's going to be one. Then right over here, centered at the end of the plywood, is going to be another concrete substrate. I'm going to dig down to the coral, which is about 1 foot, and I'm going to build it up with some big stones and put another layer under here about 9 feet from the back substrate. And then I'm going to have septic, and then there's going to be a 2x12 on top, a 2x9 on top of that, and then the container is going to be set on top of those. So right now, Daisy and I are going to go into the painting mode. Now we're going to paint these, and I'm going to paint the 2x6s that we have up on top, and I'm going to set this down. I'm going to set this down. Oh, why? I fell, Daisy. See, I'm backing up, and you see me backing up, and you didn't move, and I fell over you. I wanted to move, but you... Well, yeah, well, you moved right underneath where I was backing up. Look at her, look at her. Look at her. Daisy, say hello. Say hello. Come here. 50%? 50%. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put this down, and you're going to watch us prepare the area that I'm going to paint. Prepare those boards. Daisy will do the scraping.
Put underneath.
All right, move out of the way, honey. Okay, so you got everything in there. But we're going to paint the edges first, as we always do. Daisy, did we have the cream on our hands? Let's get the cream. We put shampoo on our hands so the paint doesn't stick. Oil-based or latex paint, regular, any kind of cheap-ass shampoo will form a barrier on your fingernails. We use Head and Shoulders, and it just comes out like a cream, like that. You make sure you get it into your cuticles good, run it up on your arms, take what's left, put it on your face and your legs. So, front of your legs, and then just run it out on your hands. arms, fingernails again, and wear off. We don't need this. No. Alright, now I thin out the paint 30%. I'm just using clean water from the hose. Yeah. And I have the bench brush to mix it up. I have 2 gallons in the bucket, and I just added about 3/4 of a gallon. And the sun just came out, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Wait, not on top of the plywood. I don't want the plywood wet. Now this is the lumber for both the deck and the roof once the project gets underway, which is going to be 5 days from now. 5 days. Take my glasses.
You want the big nut?
Yeah. And the cushion. The 2 cushions. Yeah.
Stop you to paint. I will paint, yeah?
Want to what?
Paint if you afford.
Okay. What we need to do, make that paint lift a little thinner. It would probably be better a little thinner, but I'll use it like that for now.
I put more cardboard there.
I'm not going down there. Why would I go there?
Yeah, no, I'm only asking.
What about the blue cushion? Yeah, the other one. Nice soft one. Yeah. See any spots I missed? Well, I'm not there yet.
I will just tell you.
Okay. Very good. Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. You get it the first time, then you don't have to try to get it the second time. Okay? Saves you a lot of time later. Take the cushions off. Put them on something where they won't get. Right, you know what? I'll take any hat now, Daisy. I don't give a shit. My head is fucking hot. Oh, that's nice. Don't get any dirt on me. Because then the dirt's going up on here. I already have dirt on the plywood. Don't get any dirt on me.
Did not?
Well, there was dirt on them when you handled it.
I did not. You're the one who lay there before. And you
I
paid.
know.
The shoes.
Just don't get any more dirt on it. Put them on something over
Well, I
here.
put it here. It's not dirty here. Drink water.
Yeah. Yeah. shit. It's probably 140 degrees in the sun.
You want to get ready, so prepare the water.
Ugh. We need a piece of plywood. Where are they? That piece.
Then,
Yeah. Put it right up there. Throw it.
that,
Yeah, where's the water?
water to get.
Water for the paint. It's already drying up. It's already drying up. All right, give me the cushions.
That one only.
That's enough. What the problem is, there's a little bit of dirt in the cushion, you know?
Your shoes, lagi, I saw.
You what?
Your shoes.
My shoes?
Yeah, when you put your shoes there in the
Ah,
plywood,
okay.
you left.
All right. I got you. All right. So remind me to keep my shoes on.
Okay.
with this stuff.
Oh, my dear, it's that. Rest. What?
Now, I'm going to explain why I do it with a brush again. I do it with a brush because there's 10,000 little bubbles of air that come out of the porosity of the plywood. Every ½ inch there's a bubble when I'm painting like that. With a roller, the bubble will just bubble up from under where you paint with the roller, but with a brush, you can get it in on a 45, 50, 6, 10, 20, 30, 90 degree angle, and it smushes it into the cracks. And that's why I paint with a brush. I'm only going to give it one coat. It's never going to get a second coat. For the roof, for the finished product of the roof, is going to be a tarpaulin, a rubber impregnated tarpaulin painted white.
Too big.
You get that. I think we're going to need more of this, yeah? Cushions or the paint, one or the other. Wet?
Yeah.
Come on. Wait, not over the pot. Not over the pot. Wait till I'm done. You know what? Do it.
Enough?
Yeah.
Where I was staying.
Pull. Pull. Yeah. Ready? What? Pull it up. Pull. Up. No. This way, Daisy. We're doing the same thing every time. Nothing different. Right to the edge. All right, let it go.
The paint. One more pineapple?
Yeah, one more. Too much of that makes my stomach hurt.
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Yeah. 1 or 2 pieces is okay. 5 is no good.
This is too low.
Never know.
Yep.
You never know about the let go.
What we will eat later, Dan?
Chicken, vegetables. Huh?
Okay.
Vegetables with garlic and chicken. We have vegetables, right?
I'll saute.
Right?
I'll saute. I'll saute the vegetable with garlic.
Okay, yeah. I take the
Go there, the edge. You okay?
both. One. Good. All right, I got it. Run out of fucking paint.
That's all you have? The paint?
No, I have more. Half a buck. Yeah.
Very neat.
What?
You're very neat.
I'm very neat. I'm a good painter, Daisy said. Very neat. Is this the first side or the second?
This one.
And then what will I do?
You will rest. You sit. If you want to paint again, you will paint.
Sing?
Paint.
All right.
Into half.
You want to paint? Next sheet.
Hmm?
Next sheet. You
Okay.
paint.
Okay.
Daisy's going to paint the next sheet.
Okay, complete the label. Ano, turn na?
Go ahead. I got the plug. Use 2 hands. Come from the side.
Hmm?
Come from the side this way.
That?
Yeah. Don't worry about scratching the wood. I don't care about the wood. I'm gonna go get more paint upstairs.
A paint?
Yeah. Daisy's gonna show you her painting expertise. LOL. Actually, she's a pretty good painter. You can paint from the side any way you want, don't matter. Wow, very nice. Is that the second side?
First.
One, two, three. Okay, bring your scraper over there. On the end. You want to do one more? Hold it. More. Okay. How many sheets do we have left?
Lima.
How many?
Lima.
Paint again. Give me some, just a little bit, not much, in the round. Okay. It dries out in the sun really fast. Believe it or not. after that.
It's still good.
Not bending over, huh?
Too big?
Yeah. For drinking. Let go. Yeah.
One, two, three.
If it's still on, I'm going to show you what these cushions are. Okay, all I do is take all the cellophane that they give us in the store and keep putting it in bags. And then when I get enough of it, I put it in a big blue bag and put this binding around it, and it's just plastic bags. There's nothing in here. There's no foam. There's no pillow feathers. Just plastic bags. And when this wears out, I'll put another blue bag on top of it with some more bags inside it. Daisy, look what you're doing. Wait, stop. Look what you're doing. You're running the fucking brush over the edge. Get over here, look. You're running the brush over the edge and it's all going down. I don't want to paint the fucking ground. You only bring it up to the edge. Jeez. Only to the edge, not over the edge. Look what happens, watch. See what you're doing? You're wasting fucking paint. You want to that's fine. You can't. I'm showing you 100. Look at all the paint that dripped down. Some of it's mine, but 90% of that you just did like this. You just went like that on the edge. What the fuck? Don't you think? How many times I show you? 2 days go in between fucking the first time I show you and the next time you do it, and you do it some fucking ass backwards upside down way. You would
Did gun you?
What? Come on. Get the goddamn bags. Only up to the edge, not over the edge. You understand? But it's common sense. Oh, God. Get the brush. Give it to me. Give it to me. I didn't say take it. I said give it to me. Why are you pulling it that way? For what reason? Why I did not pull it that way. Take the scraper over here and pull the label off. I can't see you.
Finish.
I will not drop it unless I can see you. Get out of there. Watch over here. Come over here. Watch me. I bring the paint right up to the edge, and then I go like this. Not back over here. Watch what happens when you go back. See? Did you see?
Yeah, you see.
Yeah. But not when I do it. When I go along the edge like that, it don't drip down. I'm not painting the dirt. I'm not painting the septic tank. I'm not painting the fucking earth. I'm painting the wood. At the end of the day, when you're a half a quart of paint short, that's why. can let it drip down if there's wood underneath it that needs to be painted, but there's nothing underneath it that needs to be painted. You understand? Hear me? Do you hear me? If we had 100 pieces of 2x2, you could let it drip onto the next layer, but not when we're painting plywood and it's dripping into the dirt. Do you understand?
No.
Well, then just say yes. If I let you do this all day by yourself, you'd use a gallon or a gallon and a half extra paint wasted into the dirt, if I didn't say so. Makes a difference, Daisy. It shit is 580 pesos a gallon. I don't want to paint the dirt. Look how much paint I got on the dirt. Here, in the front, nothing. Come on. Don't do that. The bucket will kick over. It'll fall over. It'll just tip over. It'll catch on a little piece of snot on the wood, and it'll flip over, and all of the paint will go into the dirt. Don't do that. Get him.
There's no paint in here in the edge.
On the edge? Okay. I'm gonna get these cushions out of here. That's the second side, right?
No, mine.
Okay, let's go. Get it up. Let's go. Right. Help me slide it to the edge. One more. Ready on three. 1, 2. Let go. Fucking paint. Go upstairs. Drop. Do you want to go upstairs or I'll take a break? You paint. Don't get it over there. Okay. Is that the second side? You know what? We'll have enough, don't worry. Paint the left sheet and then face side. We'll have enough to do. 1.5 sides. Yeah. Paint after we get the deck down and we'll just paint it later. Okay? I need drinking water. I want a little bit more. Ready? 1, 2, 3. How many are left? That's just the last. Give me the cushions. See if the edge is not down there. When you're done. I'm gonna go to the side.
least brush down the rocks, make everything rough, and maybe mix it. See that little bit of paint that you drip? It will make a difference at the end. You won't be able to finish the second one, but I probably could have did half. Let's flip it. All right, ready? 1, 2. All right, give me the brush. Well, your fingers. All right, push. Hey. A little bit more. Finish. A little bit of paint that you spilled would have finished this one. Because you spilled on that edge, and the back edge. You understand? Don't be fucking mad. You should think. When you're doing everything that you are doing, you must think all the time, 100%. You cannot do this kind of work and think 50%. It's going to kill you. It will fucking kill you.
Okay. Alright. Well, I have 2 more gallons of paint upstairs. And I have the 2 by 9 by 12s over there that have to get painted. So I might as well just get that painted now. So I'll finish painting the plywoods, and then I'll switch the camcorder, the tablet, over to that side over there, and you'll have a view of what we're doing over there. Oh God. Tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. Put the water bottle over here. Put that over. Give me without setting, just grab the edges of the tablet. Bring the tablet over here. Bring the tablet. Yep. Without touching the face, right? Still recording, right? You should grab it like this, so it's okay like that, though. All right, it's still recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Take those 3 buckets and just move them down to the out of the range there. All right, I'm going to turn this around now. Still recording? Yes, it is. So now the next step, Daisy, is to get the metal blocks of wood. Okay. So those, yep. Okay. All right. Give me the metal blocks of wood. Put the round one in the front. Not in, yeah, drop it. Okay. All right. Now give me the square one. All right. All right. Go over there at the end of the wood. Stand on the wood. You don't have to stand on it. Okay. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Go. And let's get that last board up on top of the pile because it's starting to twist already. Then I'm going to go get paint. Now, there's 2 ways to do it. The safe way would be to flip it up, just flip it up. All right, now grab the bottom and flip it up again. That's the safe way. The other way, if you drop it, it'll pinch. It's not a good thing. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, now, come on over here. Put about a 1/2 inch of water in our painting bucket. About a 1/2 inch of water.
In here?
In fact, bring the painting bucket and put it on top of that wood over there. Yeah. And a 1/2 inch of water in that bucket. Just to keep the bottom from drying out. I shut the water off over here.
Okay.
All right. All right, come on over here and take the paint when I drop it down.
Should have fucking did this before. I didn't. I should have just put the fucking bucket down before, but I didn't. Give me the pretty heavy. I'm tired. How about I've been working all fucking day? All right, bring it over to the lumber. Daisy, make sure it's still, don't tip it over, just make sure it's still recording. Huh?
Yeah.
Alright, so I keep a 1-quart container inside the bank pile of paint, so I don't have to tip the 4-gallon bucket. Now this shit used to be 2,000 pesos for 5 gallons, and now it's 2,300 pesos for 4 gallons. So it went up. It went from 600 pesos a gallon. Well, they reduced the size of the bucket and they increased it about 40 pesos, 50 pesos. They increased it 15% and reduced the size of the bucket. Increased the price 15% and reduced the size of the bucket so you don't feel the pain so much when you pay them at the fucking counter. Always put a little water on top of your bank pile of paint. Keeps it from drying out. Even though you put the lid on it, it dries out inside the container in the sun over here. Daisy, put this on the plywood over there. On the plywood over there. Now I want a nice thin coat to go into the...
In here?
Yep, right there. Right there. Finished. Pulling up. I want a nice thin coat on here to go into the grain of the lumber. I just want to keep a little bit of paint on it. I don't want to paint them. I don't want them to rot internally. I just want to seal it up.
So I'm thinning it out the standard 20%. The shit that comes out of these cans, if you put it on a piece of plywood at 100% on the first coat, it'll peel off. In 3 weeks, when it dries, it'll start, you can peel it off like an orange skin. Like the skin off of a grapefruit or an orange. It'll just come right off. Okay. Daisy. Daisy. Okay. So here's how you do this. You put the bucket over to the left. Now, I like to paint all the ends first. I don't know that I could, yeah, I can, okay. It depends on how they were set up. So if you get one coat on the end, you're good. I like to paint the edges second. Now, I don't know that I could get all the edges from this angle. So I'm just going to try to get it without going over there and looking. I'm going to give it a nice heavy coat. And then I'm coming around, I'm going to get the top done for 3 feet on the top. And I'm going to come around and get the edges on this side. These I can see. They're all lined up pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do the edges on the top 2 for the rest of the wood. Why? So that when I do the edges late, it'll drip down and I don't lose any on the ground. So I'm just doing the top 2 edges. Even though I did all 4 ends, I'm only doing the top edges. No, it doesn't matter. One beautiful bucket as I move the book. Yeah. Be careful, little brother. What do I think of you? I take you for some stupid shit. What? You what? No, that. All the drugs in the Philippines, all the foreigners, you help more than any other woman, and you're smarter than any other woman. You're just smart enough. Look at that. Brain is the day of men. As long as it was the top 2, so anything extra drips down to the next one. I go around me and bring the bucket back over here. Yeah. Problematic. Go, stand over there on the top. Right there. Now hold it. Don't let it go. I'm doing this by myself. One pass.
be at least 2 meters. Yeah. It wouldn't take the fucking money. I have to bring the money. Move the bucket.
You want bed?
I will. Right, paint, right there. Put the bucket right here. Will not be. Now you see all the paint? You need less paint on the brush, you can do more. On the brush. See how the difference if you set the job up right? Should have been out of the foot. I wasn't there. But at least they put it all on the wood. I didn't have to move it. You understand? If I would have set it up, that wood would have flipped over upside down and we would be stacking it on top of that pile now. But that's not how it works because we didn't do it. Take it off, put it over there. But I will fix that problem. Too late to do anything about it. I'm not going to start digging in between. You could knock the dirt down with your hand down next to the board over there. That would help. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know when you're done. Done? Get your hand out of there. Get away. Move down. Out of the way. What?
The edge.
Yeah, finish?
Yeah. ages.
Where?
The what?
All?
All.
That looked good, didn't it? That looked good when it flipped up right up on it. That looked good, yeah? The way that just flipped up on top of there?
You went there?
Almost like I knew what I was doing. That was impressive. I impressed myself there. Guys that work with lumber every day could do that shit in their sleep. Of course, anybody in Cebu, because Cebu is a big lumber mills there. Most everybody in Cebu could do that too, you know. Big lumber industry in Cebu. These boards weigh about, I guess, 85 pounds a piece, because they're still wet. They're still wet. So I'm going to have to put some weight on them to keep them from twisting up. Even in a few hours, they'll twist up like spaghetti.
Ages.
Good? Finish? That's still alive, that fucking cat. None of it. And that's what, this is strong. Go pull the pin. Go pull the board on. Love it.
Okay.
Great. Pull it. Put the paint over in the shade. Go over there. Turn it. Right there. Just let it go. But let it go. Let it go. Finish. Give me that piece of plywood.
What?
Yeah, that piece of plywood again. Pull it over the edge. Now, the bucket of rocks, 2 of them.
The hole.
What's the rat?
The hole.
The rats? What smells? A rat, huh? Dead rat. They probably killed a rat over there, threw it in the fucking lot.
Too big.
What time do you think it was? About 10 o'clock?
1:45.
Are you sure? Really? 1:45?
Eight.
We have to finish that plywood. And then, yeah, what do we have to eat? Chicken and sauteed vegetables, right?
No egg. No, I will not mix with the vegetable with egg. Only the vegetable and garlic. Okay?
You mean just break a couple of eggs in the saute? Like a scrambled egg inside the vegetables? Yeah,
Cook now?
yeah. Say goodbye. Okay, that was 5 hours of non-stop. I started at 7:30 this morning, and it's 1 o'clock. That was 5 hours of non-stop painting and work. 5 hours because
I started at 7:30 this morning up on the roof, securing something up on the roof with lumber, and then the lumber, and then we prepared for the plywood, and then
we brought the men and I brought the plywood in and all the lumber. They carried the lumber, and I just basically sorted the plywood down where I wanted it. They brought it to the pile and I put it on the pile. They brought the lumber over there, the men, and there's a pile of lumber about that size. There are 6 2x6s, 12 feet long. So there's the same exact amount of lumber there upstairs, but in a different size configuration. And they brought it to the edge of the container, and I dragged it up onto the roof and moved it 16 feet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to say goodbye. That's what I think I'm going to do. Say goodbye. Yeah. You may be wondering why Daisy and I were arguing at around the paint, and it's pretty simple. It's not complicated. When you teach anybody how to do anything, unless they really want to know how to do that thing, they don't remember from one time to the next. They might remember from one day to the next. They might remember 2 or 3 days to the next, but they will not remember 2 or 3 months later.
And the thing that I was trying to explain to Daisy, if you notice the front edge here, there's no paint on the ground. On the dirt, nothing, pretty much zero. But where she wasn't painting, and that's mostly where I did, because I only let her do one sheet. But where Daisy painted, look at the paint. Now that paint, that was just from one edge on one sheet. So multiply that by 10 and multiply that by 4 edges if I let her do the whole thing. And you would be looking at about a gallon of paint on the dirt. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think that I could paint the earth with a gallon of dirt. So why should I even try? That is what the argument was about. I try to explain to her, when you get the brush to the edge, just come up to the edge and spin it around a little bit. Don't go over the edge and drag it back. Unless, and this is unless, that if there's 200 or 50 or 100 or 35 pieces of wood and you have a drop cloth underneath them, tarpaulin drop cloth, like I have upstairs, you just put the whole pile of lumber on top of the tarpaulin drop cloth and you just paint the shit out of everything. Just let it drip right down. Let it drip down the edges, let it drip down the sides, let it drip down the edges. And just keep flipping the wood and then moving it over to a bank pile. And then when you're done with the bank pile, you're going to have, when you get down to the last 2 or 3 layers, you stop taking paint out of the can and you start taking it off the tarpaulin, which acts like a reservoir. But that's not what we're doing here. So every job is different, and unless you're thinking all the time, I gotta tell you, that sun was 135 or 140 degrees. It jams you up. The fact that she's not a painter, that there's just no way she's going to remember that kind of stuff. But what I do always teach her is to be aware of what she's doing, and that's not awareness. That's not awareness, especially that she was standing in the dirt and doing it, and it was dripping on her feet. So if anybody thinks that I was getting out of control, I get out of control because I teach people how to do stuff 1,000 times. No, I don't do that. I've had people that I've liked that worked for me, that I've taught how to make a bowling knot 15 or 20 times each summer, and they forget each year. They just don't have that ability in them. But I've had people that work for me, I teach them how to do something one time and they remember. Not only that, then they go into business and they're my competition. So it works out different ways. All right, so I got to paint this, and then I got to go upstairs and paint 6 more boards. And it's 1 o'clock. You see the sun up at about, yeah, that's about 1 o'clock. And you see the haze. Thank God they put that fuzzy shit in the sky today. Thank God. And all right then. Actually, we could have live streamed it. Yeah, no, we're not live streaming it because I really don't want people. I want people to become a member of my Patreon account at $10 or above. If you want to watch me build a hotel, you can watch, but it's going to cost. So these videos that I'm throwing up at $3 and $5, you should understand that when I start building, at $10, you could watch me build. If you don't want to watch me build, I'll be sending the videos to a select few. Blue Rose, Warren, my big super chatters, Steve, Mercury. My big super chatters will be getting the videos, but nobody else. Everybody else will pay $10 or they just won't get to see Daisy and I build the hotel. And that's going to happen. It ain't going to happen anytime soon. First the container, then the hotel. So God day to everybody. From Michael Fazio and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby.